Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Hebrew Seminary's Summer Spirituality Series, Finding Inspiration from Wisdom of Jewish Spiritual Masters, reflecting on questions we're facing these days, and we continue to face more and more of them. Our esteemed Hebrew Seminary faculty and alum are providing an opportunity to weave age-old Judaic wisdom into our lives today. Since our founding in 1992 in Skokie, Illinois, Hebrew Seminary has been inclusive and egalitarian community, teaching our students to become rabbis and Jewish educators to serve all Jewish communities, including the deaf community. And we're very proud of that. And we can see Kathy Silvern signing. I'll speak about her in a moment, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. We offer a scholarly education that empowers our students to become leaders and spiritual guides, as well as providing learning opportunities for all communities. And we want to give a special hello today to our extraordinary founder and president, Rabbi Dr. Douglas Goldhammer, who always gives us inspiration with his wisdom, generosity of spirit, and teaching. For those of you who are familiar with the seminary, we thank you for being here tonight. And for those of you who are new to the Hebrew Seminary, we're thrilled you've joined us. And while these extraordinary times are causing great havoc in our world, we're grateful to have the opportunity to reach an audience beyond the walls of the seminary on Oakton Street in Skokie. I'm Nancy Rothstein, a member of the board of Hebrew Seminary, and I'll be moderating the third of our series this evening, Mindfulness Meditation, Bringing Kindness and Compassion into a Chaotic, and it is chaotic, fearful world with Rabbi Dr. Rivkah Glick. But before I introduce our esteemed speaker, a few Zoom guidelines to help you and enrich your experience this evening. First of all, the chat room is at the bottom of your screen and is open for your comments. If you can, we'd really appreciate your putting your questions in the Q&A feature, also at the bottom of your screen. We'll be getting to those towards the end of the evening. To ensure that all can hear the rabbi, your mics are muted. And I want to introduce you to our ASL interpreter, Kathy Silvern, a very integral part of the seminary. She'll be signing this evening. Thank you, Kathy. And for those following Kathy, please use the gallery view rather than the speaker view, which you can find in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. In addition, you may choose to what's called pin Kathy's video to enlarge it by clicking on the three dots on the top right corner of her image, and select pin video. And note that you can do this on the speaker's video as well. And now, an introduction to our wonderful speaker. Rabbi Dr. Glick wanted to be a rabbi when she was young, but was told that girls can't be rabbis. So instead, she decided to become a brain surgeon, truly. After completing her training at Northwestern University in neurosurgery, she served patients with brain tumors and severe trauma for many years at Cook County and Mount Sinai hospitals. After taking a sabbatical to study and write, Rabbi Dr. Glick decided to enroll as a student at Hebrew Seminary, receiving her rabbinic ordination in 2019. And I was there, and she's amazing. She's also studied at Partisan Israel and at the Institute of Jewish Spirituality. She aspires to help bring more kindness and compassion into the world through teaching meditation and Torah. We're so grateful to have Rabbi Dr. Glick with us this evening. From dealing with the brain scientifically to dealing with the brain and soul spiritually, she's traveled the world engaging in meditative traditions, has a rich knowledge to share with us. I asked her if she thought about spiritual practices as she operated on people's brains, and she said, no. When I'm doing surgery, I'm focused on the actual anatomy in front of me. But for now, let's be enriched by her teachings in the spiritual realm of our brains and beyond. So without further ado, Rabbi Rivkah. You need to unmute.
Dear friends, and I see many people from many different walks of my life in my other meditation group, and I'm very sorry you may not realize we cannot see each other tonight because of how this is set up. But I like the idea, because I really like the idea of creating a community when we see each other. But tonight we're going to try to imagine that we are with each other, and that's why we have a few people on the screen. And I realize for some, this may be the first time you're meditating, and for others, you may be lifelong meditators. I know Rabbi Dr is here. He's one of my teachers. So I hope there's something for everyone. It will be simple, and the only thing I ask you is to approach tonight with an open mind and curiosity and enjoy yourself. Now, rather than talk about meditation the whole time, I want you to experience a taste of it. So we're going to begin with what we would call, I'm going to go through a few different types of meditations. And the first couple will be short, and they're just the flavor of different types. This has been a rough year, a rough month, even a rough week. For some, it's been a great day though. And I want to begin with what we call an embodied practice. Now I can't see all of you, so do this if you want, but we have the weight of all this going on, politics, COVID, racism, isolation, illness, whatever's going on in the world and our lives, it's on our shoulders. I want us to stand up for a minute, all of us, and hold two big suitcases in your hand, like they're weighing your hands down, like you make two fists and you have two suitcases. Like these are all the troubles and all the problems of the world and everything you think about all week, all day. And for a moment, take a deep breath and just let it go. We're going to sit down. We're going to close our eyes for a second and then open them and say, relax in the spaciousness of mind. And that's the feeling tonight. How do we feel more spacious, not constricted? More freedom, not mitzrayim. So that's the first thing. Just take another breath and say, let it out. Relax in the spaciousness of mind. And just to do a little more arrival, that we're arriving and that we're here, we're going to do a little breathing that actually you might have experienced if you take yoga or Tai Chi or other meditations. It's going to be very simple. I'm going to say in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. And we're just going to breathe for a minute or two. You can do this with your eyes open, your eyes closed, and of course, the people who are following Kathy will keep their eyes open. So let me just begin. Let's just take some deep breaths and pay attention to the breath. This is called a focus concentration meditation, where the anchor is the breath. And you can notice, maybe your inspiration's deeper. Maybe your expiration's deeper. Maybe there's a pause. This could be very interesting. So let's just breathe a little bit and we'll arrive. And this is actually can be very relaxing. So we're going to go in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. In 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. And when you exhale, you can let it out. You can really make an exhaling sound if you want. In 2, 3, 4. Out 2, 3, 4. In 2, 3, 4. Out 2, 3, 4. In 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. We're going to count to ourselves now, just for another minute. Some of my teachers say that, if you're stressed during the day, sit down and take a mindful breath. And just do a few breaths during the day. And this really lets things settle. So I'm going to do a teaching. And then the teaching will lead us into a practice that we call the loving kindness meditation. And it's an ancient practice in Buddhism, but it's also ancient in Judaism. And there's an overlap, and we can talk about that later. So I'm going to do like a little drash on the teaching. So first, we have now started on the journey of self-examination and exploration, from destruction to rebuilding, from the holiday of Tisha B'Av to the high holidays to Sukkot. These are called the 7 weeks of comfort and healing. Rav Kook, who is one of the first prime ministers of Israel, said, if the temple was destroyed by baseless hatred, the world will be rebuilt by baseless love, meaning freely given unconditional love. And this is the crux of my talk today. Judaism and Jewish history are a lot about community. But this idea of community goes deeper. It's about connectiveness. Years ago, I was in a class with Michael Belinsky, one of my teachers, and I asked him, why be Jewish? I have a lot of friends and groups and book clubs and scientific groups. I didn't need any more people or communities in my life. I didn't even have the time. Now, his answer was not Torah, tradition, or Israel, or Holocaust. His words made me stop in my track, turn my head, and listen, like Moses at the burning bush. He said, so you are never alone in the world. Why be Jewish? So you are never alone in the world. Now, at first, I thought this meant to be connected mainly to people. For example, when in a strange country or city, you could go meet lots of Jews. And this happened in Italy. I was in Florence with my husband. What are you doing Saturday morning? We went to synagogue. We met all these Florentine Jews. We had instant community. And the oneg was, kosher spaghetti. It was really good. But it was many years later, after the death of my father, my sister, my mother, all within 3 years, and that's a lot of Kaddish, by the way, that I truly understood what Rabbi Belinsky meant. I really felt alone in the world, and I remembered his words. I came to understand that this connectedness also meant to be connected to God, or whatever your concept of God is, whether it's love, energy, cosmos, divine presence, being, ayim, existence, or just the great mystery, or radical amazement. As my husband once said, without God, the universe would be a lonely place. So you are never alone in the world. We're not a speck of dust in the universe. Rather, we are in a loving relationship, and the universe is responsive to us. Our actions matter. We can envision And we can make the world a better place. Judaism is an imaginative religion. You are not alone. You are loved by an unending love. And even the Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once was asked, "What do you fear most?" And he said, "Not to despair." So true. In Judaism, we think there is always something we can do to repair the world. So spirituality to me means simply connection. Connection to yourself, to others, to the divine. And even Rabbi Jonathan Sacks of England says, on the holidays, we talk about tefillah, tzedakah, shuvah. These are about relationships and connection. Tefillah, our relationship to God, it means prayer. Tzedakah, our relationship to others. And shuvah, our relationship to ourselves, the return to our true self. The human being is the microcosm, reflecting the greater organism, the universe, the macrocosm. As above, so below. Like a wave and like the ocean. That's the human being. So spirituality is connection. Meditation, Torah study, and prayer are tools in our spiritual toolbox. They help us make these connections. Meditation is not about turning away from the world, but it's about cultivating a certain consciousness, the consciousness of compassion, of kindness, of gratitude, justice, and generosity in ourselves, so that we can face the world and respond and act in the world and respond with a wise heart, with these inner God qualities. We do this by opening our awareness to acknowledge what is true about our experience right now, and looking at it with truth, but with chesed. We call it emet and chesed. We look at it, yes, this is what's happening, but we try to be kind to our experience. This includes observing our physical sensations and our mental experiences and emotions. Today, these might be rage, outrage, anxiety, anger, fear, disgust, sadness, pain, creating upset stomach, shortness of breath, sweating, or disturbed sleep. If you feel any of these, you are probably alive right now. Meditation helps us calm our mind and our emotions so we can see more clearly, respond more rationally, with kindness and with compassion, rather than emotionally reactive. One of my teachers uses the analogy of a snow globe. I should have one here. I should have brought it. You know, when you shake a snow globe, you can't see what there is sitting there, but if you put it down and the snowflakes settle, you see usually a beautiful scene of somewhere. They're usually some travel thing. The same thing is with our thoughts, and our emotions are like those snowflakes. They're clouding our vision. But if we can just calm them down, let them settle, we will see more clearly what is true in our lives and experiences. And then we can respond with more kindness and compassion to what presents itself. I hope through these meditations tonight, we can calm the mind, open the heart, and connect the world and each other, and we can connect to the world and to each other, perhaps in a kinder, more compassionate way, and we can find our common humanity. It is when we realize that we are all interconnected, one inclusive community. Some people call it interbeing. That's when we get the priestly blessing in the Torah, when we bring everybody back into the community and connect with one another and realize you are not alone. We're all, as one of my teachers said, to the question of why me, he said, the question is why us? This is happening to everyone. It's not just me, it's us as human beings. So let's look. I'm going to use the threefold blessing, the priestly blessing, for those of you who know it, that is contained in Parsha Naso, as a lead-in to our meditation, because I found this teaching so moving when I learned it, and I've expanded on it. The threefold blessing is in the Parsha Naso in Torah. It's said daily in everyday davening. It's also said on Shabbat when you bless your children, and it's always said on the holidays. Here is a beautiful translation from the Eitz Chaim prayer book. There's three blessings. The first line, may the Eternal bless you and protect you. In other words, may you be content and safe. May the compassionate one's face give light to you and be gracious to you. In other words, luminosity and love. May the divine face be lifted towards you and grant you peace. In other words, happy, peaceful, and whole. Shalom. So let's look at each of these lines again. The first line, may the Eternal bless you and protect you. It's about being content and safe in the Bible. In the Bible, it means tangible things. May you have cattle and flocks and gold and fertility and health. It's about feeling content and having enough, feeling safe. From Psalms, some of us say the guardian may read this psalm on a regular basis. The guardian of Israel neither sleeps nor slumbers. Today, there's real fear. There's food scarcity. Medical care is insufficient. There's a pandemic. So I ask you, do you feel safe and content? Do you have faith and trust in the divine and the world that you will be taken care of, that things will be okay? Maybe that's what faith and trust is, to believe in the universe. I have a class I'm taking on Midot, on these godlike characteristics, ethical characteristics, and the word hodaya for gratitude and acceptance. Can you say to yourself, I am enough, I have enough, I do enough, and this is enough? When someone asks me how to begin spiritual practice, I used to say, 5 minutes a day meditation in a day, and it's really good, and you increase slowly, which is really good advice. But now I say, when you wake up in the morning and start your day with the Jewish prayer, Moda Ani, which is thank you, God, I am grateful for this life, for all I have, and that my soul has been returned to me, and I am alive. With this daily intention, you are indeed on a spiritual path. Moda Ani. The second line, may the divine face give light to you and be gracious towards you. We're talking about luminous and being loved. In other words, may you be guided by light and grace, unconditional love. May the divine enlighten your life and show you your way, your purpose. As one of my teachers once said, light reveals the truth. Honest looking and light are also warm, like love. So I ask you, do you feel that there's a luminous light guiding you? Do you feel loved? Can we look at our experience with truth and chesed and offer more chesed than emet? Can we say there's more goodness in the world than tragedy? The third line, may the Eternal's face be lifted towards you and grant you peace. This is happy, being peaceful, and being whole. Shalom. Shalem. In Hebrew, peace, shalom means whole. Can you imagine God smiling on you with unconditional love and happiness? So what do we have in this prayer? We have safe, healthy, happy, peaceful. As Rabbi Sheila Weinberg says, This is the Jewish loving kindness metta meditation right here in the Bible. This metta I learned many, many years ago from Jewish Buddhist teacher Sylvia Borstein, Sharon Salzberg, and Rachel Cowan. Rachel is a rabbi who passed away recently. And the one that I learned, the phrases I learned, which is a takeoff of this, is may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy and peaceful, may I live with ease. And that's what we're going to practice tonight. The words are going to be in the chat, but I'll help you through it because I prefer that we sit with ourselves without too much technology. So a friend of mine once asked me, what is it you want to teach your children? My answer was, to be confident in the world. But now I add, to be confident and compassionate. Rabbi Simcha Bunim says, one should carry two pieces of paper, one in each hand. One says, the world was created for me. That's the confidence. And the other one says, I am but ashes and dust. That's the humility and compassion. And somewhere in between is our path, the middle path, where we need to live and walk. So prayer and meditation are tools that help us cultivate this consciousness of gratitude, justice, compassion, loving kindness, generosity, so that we can face the world and act and respond with a wise heart, with these godlike qualities that we're going to say on the high holidays over and over. You might say what we're trying to develop, a wise heart means right heart, right action. And from the Jewish French philosopher, this became my mantra this year, to know God is to know what to do. Why do we have to do this work? We can't opt out. Judaism is about participating. And the reason we do this work is because the survival of the world depends on how we treat each other, and I add, and the earth. And in closing, when we say the Shema, we say ahava, and you can break this word down as hav is to give, and ahava is I give love. And I think that's what we want to practice each day. So this is what we're going to practice tonight. And these will be easy instructions. And when I learned this practice, I was at a meditation where we spent one whole day just with one person doing the phrases. Tonight we're going to shorten it a little bit. We're going to spend 3 minutes with each person that we're doing the phrases for. But in your practice, you choose, and I would say play with this during the week. If this appeals to you, play with this. And, take it into your week. And when your mind is upset or distracted, try practicing these phrases. It seems to calm the mind and the heart and everything. When you calm the mind and the heart, you can see things more clearly. And I gave these phrases to a friend of mine whose husband had road rage. This is a true story. She put it on the mirror of his car, and every time he got angry, he would say these phrases instead of swearing and screaming and getting upset. I think it helped his blood pressure and everything else, but it actually cured his road rage. Now, I don't think they've ever been used for that before, but here's the instructions. They're very simple, based on the ancient Buddhist metta practice and the ancient Jewish practice. That's what we're combining here. And I want you to imagine the person you're saying this for. The first person we're going to say the phrases for is ourself. The second person we're going to say the phrases for is a beloved, either a teacher, a family member, or a friend. The third person is a neutral person, someone we've seen, but we don't really know, maybe the one who used to make our coffee and deliver our mail, and we see them, but we don't know them. The fourth person would be a difficult person, and I don't want you taking the most difficult person in the world. We're not doing Hitler. We're doing, maybe you had an argument with someone this week, or you got upset about something. Use that difficult person, and then all beings. Now, I will give you the prompt, and I will help you through the phrases. It'll be very simple. And each time I will ring a bell to change the person you imagine. You can do this with eyes open or eyes closed. So we will begin with the bell, and we will do this for 3 minutes per person. I wanted to do longer, but my representatives here said, let's start simple. So we're going to do about 3 minutes plus or so. And the phrases are for yourself. You're going to sit with your eyes open or closed and say, may I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy and peaceful. May I live with ease. And I will repeat that each time. So we're going to start with the sound of a bell. And I use a reflex hammer since I'm a doctor. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy and peaceful. May I live with ease. And we will be silent for 3 minutes as we say the phrases to ourselves. So now imagine a beloved person, a teacher, a friend, a family member, grandchild, and you want to wish them well. You want to send loving kindness to them. Now, if you can, I do the phrase, each phrase I break up between my inspiration and expiration, like on inspiration, may I be, an expiration, safe. May I be healthy. And this, again, brings the breathing into the meditation. So for this, we will say, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy and peaceful. May you live with ease. This is the beloved person, and try to imagine them. And we will begin. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy and peaceful. May you live with ease. Now we're going to pick someone who's called a neutral person in our lives. Someone you don't really know, but you've seen, maybe the barista at Starbucks, cashier at the grocery store, the person you take your laundry to if you do dry cleaning, or just someone you see but you don't know. And we're going to wish them well. And I found that the next time I saw that person, I felt like I had a connection to them. It was a very interesting experience. So, once again, this is may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you be happy and peaceful, may you live with ease. And you want to imagine the person as you say it. Okay, we'll begin. And now we're going to wish a difficult person well. This doesn't have to be the most difficult person in the world, but it can be somebody you had an argument with, a friend you're harboring some resentment or anger with for something they said. Maybe they didn't even know they said it. Someone you may have to make amends with in Shuvah before the holidays. Think of a person who's difficult. Now, some people have said to me, you know, me myself is the most difficult person I deal with. But imagine a difficult person. And if it's really hard to do, you can even take your hand and put it on your heart, bringing chesed over to your heart as you say to this difficult person, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy and peaceful. May you live with ease. Now we're going to say, may all beings be happy and peaceful. And I mean all beings, all Democrats, all Republicans, all people of color, all people who live in cities and rural areas. We're going to say this for everyone. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings live with ease. We wish all beings well. Okay. In closing of my part, I wanted to save enough time for question and answers. I want to bless you all with the threefold blessing. Rivkah Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And I wanted to add that Rabbi Goldhammer teaches these beautiful Kabbalistic meditations and healing prayers for people who are interested, which is a bit different than what we did tonight, which is called Mindfulness, Loving Kindness Meditation, but incorporates many similar ideas. And I've been studying with him and I've learned so much from him too. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. And now our good friend Nancy is going to open up the floor for questions and answers.
Thank you, Rabbi Rivkah. That was beautiful. And yes, you're right. The teachings that Rabbi Goldhammer teaches are extraordinary. And they're on the website. There's meditations, all kinds of wonderful things. But we'll get to a few things like that in the closing. But I want to honor a few questions we've had. We don't have that much long. I apologize if we run over just a couple of minutes, everybody. But I do want to honor the questions that have come in. The first one, and we have two, so we won't have that long, Rabbi Rivkah, but the first one is, where do I go first to practice patience? And this is from Robert Fields.
I think patience is all related to the same type. People learn patience through prayer. People learn it through Tai Chi or yoga. We're talking about meditation here. And I've been teaching a loving kindness meditation, which uses phrases, but breathing meditation helps us calm the mind and heart. And when you're doing breathing meditation and your mind wanders, which it will if you're just breathing, every time you bring it back, there's a relaxation. And patience is really, I think, it involves physical and mental calming. And I think that's a meditation can help people with, and you're welcome. Right now we have a Jewish mindfulness meditation group on Tuesday nights. You're welcome to join and try too. There's a number of different types of meditations, and I think the ones that I've been involved with are geared towards calming the mind, simmering the emotions, opening the heart, and creating spaciousness, and patience is one of the things when we do this we find there.
Thank you so much. And it is important that there is a physiological response to our chemistry, our brain and body chemistry, when we meditate. So this next question, which came anonymously, and it's a beautiful question, and I appreciate the person's asking it because I do not think that they are at all alone. During this difficult time, I'm frequently in fight or flight mode, and it's eating me up inside. What's a good meditation to grant me shalom, to grant me peace? It doesn't feel like Hashem is showering on me hesed, love, and tov, goodness.
Well, one of my teachers says, it isn't just the practice of mindfulness and calming isn't just when you're sitting and doing meditation. It's a practice all day long. When you're washing the dishes, you do this with whatever you're doing, you pay attention to what you're doing. If you're with your children, you're with your children. If you're doing your work, you're doing your work. If you're washing the dishes, you wash the dishes. And we try to focus our mind into the present moment rather than part of it is letting it go way off to all different things. And we do that by bringing it back to, this is what I'm doing. And this happens to everybody. You can be at a wonderful birthday party with your kids, and all of a sudden you start thinking about that conversation you had 3 years ago with your boss that pissed you off. It's like, and one of the things I learned to say is like, why am I thinking about that now? Isn't that curious that that would come up? And I bring it back to, look where I am. What am I doing? I'm being grateful. Part of it is what I've learned in my life too. So the practice, having a daily practice, whatever your practice is, whether it's meditation, whether it's walking, whether doing the dishes is your meditation. But one of the things I do is I've developed a routine where I really limit my watching the news and intake of a lot of upsetting things. And the news is geared towards stimulation. It's very stimulating right now, of course. It doesn't mean I'm not actively involved in things. But during the day, I do my spiritual work, I do study, I do prayer, I do meditation, I exercise, I do my chores, and then I've set aside time in the evening, a very fixed amount of time where I let myself watch the TV and the news. And this seems to really contain it, that you don't have there's so much stimulation all day long. I did a teaching last week about the Shema. The first paragraph of the Shema, the prayer we say every day, says, put these words on your heart. And that means Sfas Emes, who's a famous Hasidic teacher, said, not those, meaning think of kindness words and compassion and things like that, rather than all the anger. I can tell you, during the storm the other day, we had a power failure for 16 hours. And it could have been very upsetting, and I was upset, the food and this, and I turned it into a gratitude practice. That I'm really grateful that I'm home with my family. My house wasn't destroyed by a tree that fell a few weeks ago. A tree fell on my house, and I had to take the rest of it down. I actually took it down a few days before the storm. We had food here. We had our family. And I started thinking about the people who were alone, who were sick, who were having a difficult time. I actually ended up calling a 90-year-old woman I know who I hadn't talked to in like a year. And the funny thing was, she told me she was thinking of me too. But I was able to, through a gratitude practice, being grateful every day that we're still well. And even if things happen, we can reach out and help others. I think helping others is a real sign. When you help someone, I think it generates happiness.
I am so grateful to you for bringing in gratitude, because I was waiting and I was going to say to this beautiful question that was asked, so honest and so vulnerable, that one of the things in my teachings and that I've learned is to go to gratitude. Because literally when your brain, for your heartbeat, for a breath, for a piece of fruit, because when you go to gratitude, your brain shifts, your consciousness shifts. So thank you so much, Rabbi Rivkah, for adding that. You've been so wonderful. We're pretty much out of time. We did just have a question if Rabbi Goldhammer was going to speak tonight, and he will not be, but please go to the website. He will be leading other meditations and teaching classes and all, and we welcome your participation. So everyone, on behalf of Hebrew Seminary, we want to thank you so much for joining us this evening on the third of our summer spirituality series. And thank you, Rabbi Rivkah, for sharing your insights, your wisdom. You're so generous of spirit, and you give such practical things. One of the things that we want you to be able to take away this meditation, it will come out with the post email, the phrases that she used, so that you'll have those. And thank you so much for that. And we're very grateful to Kathy for your beautiful signing this evening. It's just, that in and of itself is a meditation to watch her. And to our listeners, we hope that you'll participate in the fourth of our spirituality series this summer on August 26th with Rabbi Lawrence Davis. You may have already registered.
Lawrence Edwards.
I'm sorry, Lawrence Edwards. That was just my own typo. Thank you for that. Rabbi Davis already spoke. And by the way, that's a good prompt for me to say that these are all taped and accessible to you to come back to them. And so we'll send out the invitation again, and you can register again. And they are all recorded to revisit, or if you can't attend. And if you haven't already, please visit HebrewSeminary.org to learn more about courses. And we do welcome your support so very much, so we can continue our important work educating rabbis as Jewish leaders and spiritual guides to serve the deaf community and other communities as well. We wish you all peace, good health, finding joy amidst these unprecedented difficult times. Take time for you, take time to meditate, take time to connect to God and to your community, because we are all in this together. We need each other, and we need a lot of love right now. So thank you again, Rabbi Rivkah.
If somebody wrote it, if there's a written thing about this, if anybody would like a written copy of what I said tonight, I'm happy to share it.
Okay, we can attach that to the email that's sent out. Thank you so much for that. So bless you all. Thank you for being with us. Have a beautiful evening. And thank you again. Amen to that.